All right. Welcome back to the Malapert Smart motherfucking wrestling podcast. We're here. It's a day after SummerSlam. I had Vlad and Robert at my house actually, so we could have just recorded a show maybe after the show, but nah, we were all like, having too much fun.
It was too much already after, right? It was
we were drinking a little bit. It would have sounded, a little slurry. We want to do these podcasts professionally.
It would have been more funny.
No, man, it's not funny. From my experience recording and doing art drunk, it's good in theory, but once you actually see the recording come out, it's like sad. We want to be professionals here. We want to at least seem somewhat coherent, and maybe someone will subscribe to us. Subscribe to our podcast, people, please. It would make us very happy to see the numbers go up. We're at like 280 something right now, which is pretty good. Close to 300. 300 is our goal for now, so anybody who could get us close to 300, thank you. Send us your address, and Vlad will send you money. No, I'm kidding. Don't send us your address. Don't put your address up in public, please. But please subscribe.
Yeah, but I'm not sending anyone even 10 cents. So.
Yeah, Vlad's not sending 10 cents of his hard-earned money. But anyways, it's a day after SummerSlam. We usually cover the whole week of wrestling here, but this episode is going to be SummerSlam heavy because that was very important. So we're probably going to go up and down the card mostly. And if you want our review of Raw and Dynamite, that's up on our YouTube posts. If you go to our community posts tab, our Raw and Dynamite reviews are up already, and the Smackdown one should be up by morning when this show is released. So hopefully that'll be up too. And then the SummerSlam comprehensive review as well, but that will be here on this show as well. So we're going to cover SummerSlam. All right, let's jump right into it. I got Vlad, the wrestling expert. I got Robert, the frozen Asian. The mainstays of the Malapert Smart podcast. The future Malapert Smart Hall of Famers based on their work here on the panel, discussing wrestling, reviewing wrestling, talking about the shows, the angles, the rumors, the backstage rumors. They know it all, man. They're the man. They're both the man. Can you both be the man? Or it's only one of you. Can only one of you be the man?
With all due respect to Becky Lynch, yeah, sure, why not?
Becky Lynch. I was thinking Ric Flair, man. Ric Flair.
Well, Becky Lynch was the man at one point. She's not even on the roster anymore. But let's move on to SummerSlam. This is August 3rd, 2024. And I'm going to do just pictures today. Sometimes I have video, but today I just want to have pictures so we won't get stricken for copyrights or anything. So I'm going to jump to the main event first. That's the first thing we're going to cover. So I'm going to do a summary, and then I'm going to give Vlad and Robert some time to talk about it, and then we'll discuss whatever else we have to afterwards after that. So Cody and Solo was the main event. Solo, the man here, just over a year after debuting in WWE from NXT. Now he's the main event of SummerSlam for the WWE title against Cody. So here he is. I'm going to just narrate through some photos. If you're on YouTube, you can watch this. If you're on audio podcast, I'll try to describe it best as I can. But they cut back to Cody in the back. He's in his fancy RV, and he walks his dog to the ring. So very baby-faced, right? What good guy doesn't have a dog? But I don't think that's such a baby-faced move to have a dog. I mean, even the most evil, hardened of criminals would love a dog, man. Everyone loves dogs. But anyways.
Dogs are great.
Yes, of course. Vlad's one of Vlad's favorite, Arn Anderson, back in WWE. I guess he escaped from AEW somehow, but he was here to give Cody a little pep talk before the match. He told him help was on the way, so I guess that let the fans know that Randy Orton and KO or someone else were on the way, but I don't know. I didn't think much of this backstage segment. I mean, it's cool to see Arn. I love Arn. But anyways, I'm going to move on to the match. And I'm not even going to talk about most of the match. It was a Bloodline Rules match. Here's Cody coming in with that skull helmet, which Robert thought was cool when we were watching it. But,
yeah.
Okay, the match itself. A lot of holds for the first 15 minutes. I mean, we all knew we were all waiting for the Bloodline interference because the night before on SmackDown, on a good segment that Vlad actually praised on his review, that Cody and Solo decided that it was going to be Bloodline Rules the night before in their final face-off. So the fans were just, kind of giving it nice. They were being nice because we all knew that they were just going to tussle for a few minutes. And then Cody's first crossroads came in, and that's when Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa came in. No Jacob Fatu yet, but they couldn't put Cody away. So they tried to pin him, but he still kicked out even after a beating from those two guys. And KO's music hit. So here we go. These guys have been out hurt. KO and Orton have been out hurt, but they made it back just in time for SummerSlam, huh? Very lucky timing there. But so here's KO running down that long-ass entrance ramp to come help Cody. At least he ran, though. He tried to run. But I think he got beaten up by Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, so it was 2-on-1. So he tried for a minute, but they got the best of him. And then that's when Randy Orton's music hit, and he's, running down the ramp, high-fiving the fans on the way down there.
He should have done the Jeff Hardy dance.
Oh my God! Yes,
that would have been perfect. If Jeff Hardy was there, he definitely would have done it. I mean, the way they play their music is kind of silly, but it is a spectacle for the fans, so they had to introduce these guys. And then Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and KO and Randy Orton fight off into the crowd, and they leave Solo and Cody to continue fighting in the ring, and They struggle for a few more minutes, and then what's the next thing that happens? It's another crossroads, and then that's when Jacob Fatu comes in, and then he's going to do with that back rope or top rope onto Cody on the announce table. So that's what they set up. So they set up Cody on the announce table. Jacob Fatu goes up there and does the dive like he did on SmackDown, but this time, I guess either kayfabe or not kayfabe, he hurts his leg. And I was hearing some people talk about how it might have been fake just so they could get him away from Roman and they didn't have to do the Roman-Jacob Fatu tussle yet. But I don't know. I don't have any word on this. We'll discuss that in a minute. But as for the rest of the match, Jacob Fatu tells Solo to continue on and finish Cody off. Solo gets in the ring. He can't do it. Cody kicks out. And then that's when the Roman Reigns music hits, and everyone was waiting for this. I think it was the most expected thing. Expected surprise, I guess, if you could call it that. Is that a thing? An expected surprise? So Roman came out. He's got an OTC shirt on. At the beginning, we didn't know what that was, but I guess it's supposed to mean the original tribal chief. Just like AJ Styles is the leader of the original club. The OC. Okay.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know if that's creative or interesting, but okay. So Roman comes in, and much to my chagrin, because I was rooting for Solo in this match, he just Superman punches Solo, and that was the end. He gives Cody a stare like, he could have done something to him, but he didn't. He was here for Solo, because Solo had been the one to take the reins of the tribal chief, and that's where Cody finishes him off and pins him with one last crossroads, staring down Roman Reigns, and Roman gives Cody one last stare, and then the thing that Vlad wanted me to bookmark was Solo Sikoa's angry face, and that's exactly how I felt. That literally summed up my feeling, because I wanted this to be the night that Solo got made so badly. I thought he was so cool in the build-up to this. But anyways, I'm going to defer to my panel. I'm going to give it to Vlad first. Let's give you 2 solid minutes to review this match. Let me get that 2 minutes on the clock. 2 minutes on the clock here for you. All right, Vlad, it's all yours. You go ahead. Give us your review of Solo versus Cody. And if you need more than 2 minutes, go ahead. This is just a guide because we're just trying to, keep ourselves from rambling. But you go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. No, I thought this was pretty perfect. I loved every minute of it.
2 thumbs up on your ratings.
2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up. Well, first of all, the angle has been great. I thought the build-up towards the match has been great. There's always the talk if Roman was going to come in. I mean, yes, I thought he would, but we weren't 100% sure. We didn't know. I don't really read a lot of the wrestling rumor gossip, if it was already confirmed prior to SummerSlam that he was going to be there or not. So to me, it was a legitimate, kind of surprise moment when his music played, because I didn't know 100%.
Yeah, part of me was hoping it wouldn't happen too. I still held out hope that Solo could win, but yes. All right.
Yeah. But
so it all worked for you. It all worked for you, huh?
Yeah, I mean the pop at the end, the stare down with Cody attacking Solo, which is going to further probably some sort of civil war between the bloodline once Roman gets his crew back, which he will at some point, probably going forward in the future. So I think everything really worked for me here. I love the angle. I love, I can't believe it because I for a while I did think the bloodline had kind of grown stale. It was getting old. But they've really, when they brought in this crazy group of thugs, I guess, to join this new bloodline led by Solo, and with Roman coming back, it's going to be really, really good stuff, I feel. And then Cody is going to, I'm not sure what's going to happen with Cody. I mean, I think he's also going to be involved in this somehow. I mean, he won't be part of the civil war with the bloodline, but he's going to be a part of something that goes on with Solo or with Roman or maybe with Jacob Fatu. I don't know what they got, but they have so many options that it's hard to really say what they're going to do. But anyways, I don't want to go too much over than the 2-minute mark, but I love this. I did love this.
All right. So you think they have a lot of options going forward? That's cool. All right. Well, Robert, you got any thoughts about this match first before we continue on and talk about what may happen next?
Yes, pretty much agree with everything Vlad mentioned, except I was very close to 100% sure that Roman Reigns was coming back during SummerSlam. So his return wasn't really much of a surprise. It was very anticipated for me. So, the surprise factor wasn't really there, but it was still great to see. Now, this wasn't perfect, but I did love it. But just a couple of nitpicks. Right before Roman Reigns' music hits, there was a few seconds there that felt kind of awkward because I think Jacob Fatu really did get legitimately injured. We'll find out for sure, I guess later. And so maybe there was something that was supposed to happen involving Jacob Fatu before Roman Reigns' music finally did hit. So that's why it felt a little weird at that moment.
Maybe they were trying to figure out what to do backstage and relay it to somebody or something.
Right. I think that's what happened. Like, oh no, he got legitimately hurt. Whatever the plan was for him leading up to Roman Reigns' return, obviously it didn't happen. If that was the plan, I don't know. And then the other thing is, when Roman Reigns' music hit, it was a little bit different. So it took me a few seconds for me to register like 100% sure that, oh, that really is Roman Reigns. But when it was obvious it was him, like, oh yes, thank goodness. Now, even though it wasn't a shocker, this was something that I felt like it really needed to happen. So I'm glad he's back. It does open up a lot of opportunities. For sure, a bloodline civil war, which I would assume will culminate in Survivor Series and a War Games type of match, where I'm assuming Roman Reigns will reunite with the Usos and call me crazy. Why not Sami Zayn as well? That might be a little far-fetched, but I think...
Oh, my God.
Just to make that reunion a little more oozy, why not?
Oh my God. All right. Well, you guys already kind of got to it then, that you guys see the possibilities of endless storylines here. I thought it was also, to be honest, it was a good spectacle. I thought the ending was a little lazy, that Roman just shows up and Superman punch. I mean, like Robert said, maybe there was supposed to be something else. Maybe there was supposed to be a tussle with him and Jacob Fatu or a stare down or something. I don't know.
Probably.
Also, in my own little measly mind, I kind of had this dream that Solo was going to win and get made today, so I was looking forward to that. And, kayfabe-wise, it bothers me that Roman didn't show up for all these weeks. After Solo's been talking crap, he beat up Paul Heyman weeks ago. Now he chooses the time to come back at SummerSlam. Okay. I was not happy to see Roman. I don't care about Roman. I think wrestling is doing just fine without Roman. Whatever. They ruined the night for me.
What?
I mean, sure, they're doing just fine, but they'll definitely do better with Roman.
Yeah, sure, okay. It's not what I wanted to see, though. If Roman was going to come back,
star in the industry, but yeah, okay.
I mean, Cody's the biggest star now, by the way. But okay,
I don't know. That's debatable.
That really is debatable, but yeah.
okay. Well, look, he just ruined my dream of seeing Solo become champion. I felt like Solo here, but that's just me. Okay. Otherwise, I thought it was fine. Obviously, Bloodline rules. We know we were getting, and we knew the beginning of the match was going to be like kind of meaningless. But once things started heating up, it got good, and it was a good spectacle. But I want to move on. Let's move on to the next topic. All right, because we got a lot of topics to get to today. I'm not going to do such in-depth summaries for our reviews, but I do probably want to just go over a couple things. So let's move to Dom and Rhea and Liv, the love triangle that we've had going so far. Dom has told off Liv Morgan. Here's Liv. So it's going to be Liv the champion against Rhea Ripley, the challenger, and Liv is coming in with Dominic, even though there's, Vlad and everyone in the world has been thinking that there was going to be a betrayal here for some reason. But let me go through what happened earlier in the match. Yeah, well, earlier in the match there was a lot of running away from Liv, so it was kind of a slow-paced start. But here's Rhea using Dominic to get into Liv's head, giving him affection and cuddles and smooches and such. Later in the match, this was the one spot where Rhea, she popped her shoulder like twice in the match, and then she rammed it into the table, into the announce table, and popped it back in, which was pretty ridiculous. But later, this was the part where Liv Morgan had brought the chair in, but Rhea was going to use it, and Dominic stopped her and talked some sense into her, quote unquote. And Rhea was like, all right, you're right, I'm going to get disqualified. Let's try to win this match. And then from there, Liv Morgan literally gets Oblivion on her finishing move. She kicks Rhea into Dominic, and Dominic falls off the ring apron, and there's the Oblivion, smashes her head onto the floor. Didn't get the pinfall, though. And then Dominic comes in and throws the chair in once more, distracts the ref, and then this is where Liv gets Oblivion this time on a steel chair. And we were a little confused. Was Dominic really trying to help Liv there, or was he trying to pass it to Rhea? It wasn't really very clear, but that's where Liv Morgan gets the win, and then that's the smile from Dominic that kind of shows, it was all a swerve the whole time. So Vlad was right, and everyone was right. And then that's where, I guess Liv Morgan wasn't in on it, though, if anyone, because she seemed surprised that Dominic helped her and was very happy to get the kiss from him at the end. So they all smooched in front of Rhea, and Rhea was pissed off and disgusted and angry. So, all right, let me see. I'll start with Robert for this one. Robert, did you have a thumbs up, thumbs down review for this angle?
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. All right.
I want to say one thumb up. Yeah.
All right. Well, go ahead and give us a review. Any thoughts you want to give about this match?
Rhea Ripley should have known better than to trust an ex-con.
Mm-hmm.
First of all,
of course.
I'm kidding. Not all ex-cons are bad. All right, so this was pretty much predictable to me, as far as I did predict that Liv Morgan would get the victory, not clean, obviously, that she would win through some sort of shenanigans with a possible assist from Dominic. But I did think that it wouldn't be 100% clear if it was intentional. Kind of like the stuff that's happened in previous segments, like the Becky Lynch match, as an example, right? So I didn't think that it would be very clear what his choice was, if he was really, really intentionally trying to help her or not. But I did predict a victory nonetheless for Liv, and that it wouldn't be clean. But okay, so there was the betrayal, and that was the first of. Can we go to? I don't want to go too spoilery here, but that was one of The first of more than
Oh,
one
the Judgment Day
betrayal.
betrayals. Yes, this is the end
Yeah.
of Judgment Day on this night, it seems.
Okay.
So, yes, we'll get to that later on with the Finn Balor Damian Priest.
Okay, yeah,
But yeah,
we'll get to
stick
that
with this
later.
for now. So
All
you
right.
gave this match a thumbs up. Did you
One
think?
thumb, yeah.
Did you think? What did you think of the match itself?
It was okay. It wasn't the best for either Liv or Rhea. I think this is Rhea's first match back since injury. I don't remember if she had a match on Raw or not.
And then what about the execution of the finish? You got any thoughts about that?
I thought it was just fine. I had no issue with it. Yeah, personally.
All right, cool. Thumbs up from Robert. Let's move on to Vlad. You got 2 minutes on the clock.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was. I basically agree with Robert for the most part. I enjoyed the angle. The only criticism I would have is that it probably was predictable in a sense.
Yeah, just like the last match that we covered, the Cody solo match. Man, it's both endings. We knew exactly what was going to happen, but okay.
As I did predict that that the betrayal would happen with Dominic and that Liv would win, right? I think it's best that actually if they were going to do the betrayal type thing, that they would just make it obvious, like that, let's just get on with it. Because it's no point of extending this further. Like, oh, did he do it by accident? Da, 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 da. Let's just go with the fact that this was, this is where the story is going, and
yeah,
this is where
that's my problem with it too, Vlad. I'm sorry to interrupt into your time, but that's my. It wasn't obvious. He threw the chair in. He slid the chair in. Who was he trying to slide it to? I don't know. Yeah. I kind of feel like it would have made it more dramatic if it was obvious that he was trying to help Liv Morgan. But yes, that's my only criticism as well.
Yes, I agree with that part of it. But once he did the kiss and all of that stuff, that was on. Then it became obvious that he didn't do it by accident. He really did cost Rhea the match. So overall, though, I would say this has been a pretty good angle so far. And the match itself, like Robert said, wasn't the best for Rhea specifically because Rhea is one of the better workers, I think, in all of wrestling, to be honest. So I don't know if it's because of the way they were doing, like the format of the match, or just because of the whole Dom and the whole interference that he had throughout the whole match that kind of ruined the flow, or just I don't know what it was, but it wasn't really the greatest match. But the angle itself has been very good, so I gave it 1 thumbs up. It could have been 2 if the match was really stellar prior to the betrayal, the screw job, the whatever you want to call it. But other than that, I have no real issues with it, and I've enjoyed this whole thing.
Yeah, congratulations to Dominic for finally becoming a real man, from stepping up from a submissive whipping boy to a man with a girlfriend now. I wasn't expecting it. I kind of had a feeling, just like the solo thing, I kind of had a feeling that it wouldn't happen, that they would keep Dom as like a flunky. That's another weird part of the story to me. Now Dom is cool. Now Dom's got Liv Morgan, the guy that every freaking internet wrestling nerd teen kid is like dreams to be with, and she's with freaking Dominic Mysterio now. That's kind of weird to me. I kind of thought he could just stay as Rhea's whipping boy and have him like as his little slave thing or whatever. But okay, half a thumbs up for me. I think the finish was executed. It was executed well. The idea they had was executed just fine, but I kind of didn't like the booking of throwing the chair in and having it be in the middle of the ring. So okay. That's a small criticism, though, but I still give it. I kind of liked it. I'll give it half a thumbs up. I didn't really like it, but so a little bit more about this angle. That right after the match, Damian was looking for Dominic in the back, and he asks Finn about it if he knew, and he didn't. Finn says he didn't know. So this will come back later on, but you know what? Let's just jump to that right now. Let's jump to Damian and Gunther as the next angle that we're gonna cover. So. Let me see. Gunther and Damian. That was the second to final match of the night. So this was right before Solo and Roman and Cody, that whole thing. So here comes Gunther, and Damian's going out there with a heavy heart after Rhea has lost her chance to regain the women's title. So he's there with the men's world heavyweight title. And I'm not going to show much of this match. Hard-hitting match, obviously. Two big guys. They were throwing each other around. Gunther had his chest split open, but it looked like he was already kind of split open before the night started. Because I guess that's just what he does. He just goes around having chest slapping contests in real life. That's how he gets his chest so steel. Chest of steel. But anyway, so when Gunther looked like he was going to win, Finn Balor came out to rile up Damian, and be his hype man or whatever, try to get him motivated. And it kind of worked for a second because Gunther kicked Finn, and then Finn, fell on the outside, and then Damian got pissed, so the power of friendship here. And here he is ripping, taking down his sleeves, and he gives him the Razor's Edge and a South of Heaven choke slam, and then he was going to pin him. And then Finn Balor was there to do the betrayal and put Gunther's foot on the rope. And Damian didn't see it at first, but here's Finn. I guess it was a little tough for him. Okay, this was not easy. These guys have been friends for a long time, but it was time for this to end, as Vlad will, I'm sure, talk about in a second. But here's Here's Damian looking at the big screen to see what happened, and he sees Finn, and he's pissed off. And let's see some of these facial expressions. This was wrestling acting at its finest. Here's Finn Balor turning around to show, yeah, fuck you, with his eyes, pure hatred in his eyes. And Gunther gets the choke on Damian. It looked like it was going to be the end here, but Damian gets out of it. And here's Finn Balor staring at Damian, staring at him, waiting for the life to get choked out of him. And Damian actually gets out of this and is able to get to Finn Balor and goozle him and choke, get his hands around his neck. But no, that was the last thing he was able to do, as Gunther gets him from behind in another choke, and that's the end. And this is the beginning of the Gunther era. So Finn Balor does it. He finally pulls the plug on poor old Judgment Day. The people have been waiting for this for months, that it's been teased. That Judgment Day has been teased to break up since it fucking started. And now it's finally over. Dominic betrayed Rhea. Finn betrayed Damian. So we're going to see how it all really shakes out on Monday, because some people are saying the group's maybe not done, but we'll see about that. And Gunther's a world champion, too. All right, let me get the clock back up on the screen. I'll start with Vlad this time. You want to do a review of the match? Gunther versus Damian Priest?
Yeah, of course. I thought this was a
2 thumbs up for you?
Two thumbs up match. I love this match, honestly. I mean, I love most of Gunther's matches. I don't know. Some people actually find him boring or something, or some of his match. I don't understand. I'm
Really?
just flabbergasted by that. I don't know if those are just AEW fans that don't understand what wrestling is supposed to be all about, but this was a tremendous match. Hard hitting, stiff. Now, to be fair, I wouldn't want to be in a match like this if I was a wrestler, but I would want to watch it as a fan. And this was really enjoyable to me. The hard hitting action, the stiffness, just great job by both guys putting on a very, very solid and entertaining match. As far as the other swerve and the end of Judgment Day, I mean, I felt it was necessary just to further both Damian Priest and obviously to further Gunther as the champion. That goes without saying. But just Damian, because he was stuck in a group that didn't really matter anymore. It really wasn't helping him to be in this group anymore. So it was for the good of his character and his future to kind of be away from that. And I mean, he might feud with them now or whatever's left of the. I'm assuming there will be a group of some sorts, maybe with Dom and Liv and Finn and I guess Carlito and JD. I'm assuming that will be the
that could be
that will be a group most likely. But Damian needs to just develop his mic skills, develop his character a bit, because he's right there. He has all the tools. Great look, big, strong guy.
He's just in a group of flunkies.
He's just, it wasn't a group that wasn't really doing much of anything. It was just like a lot of dumb stuff on Raw that I would usually try to forward through. So anyways, again, I don't want to go too much over the 2-minute mark, but this was a great match, and hopefully this will help Damian, and I know it will help Gunther in the long run. So, yeah, 2 thumbs up for me.
All right, well, let's do Robert's turn. Robert, go ahead. Let's hear your review of Gunther versus Damian Priest and the end of Judgment Day as we know it.
Yes. So I gave this 2 thumbs up. This was an awesome match. Probably the best of the night.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, so Gunther, I've pretty much all of his matches to me are enjoyable. And as far as Damian Priest goes, I've seen some really good matches from him back when he was still in NXT, but this is probably my favorite of his in his main roster run. So kudos to him as well. It takes 2 to tango, and this was a great match. And I just regarding Damian Priest, I just wish his title reign started after not being with Judgment Day anymore, because I feel like being the leader of Judgment Day kind of tainted his reign, right? Because it didn't make sense that the leader of such a dysfunctional group that almost always loses is also the world heavyweight champion. It didn't make sense to me. It wasn't a good look for WWE to put the title on him when he was the leader of Judgment Day. So it would have been better if he had left Judgment Day or got kicked out or whatever, was betrayed, and then won the championship. But anyways, he's seemingly out of that group now. We'll see what happens with Judgment Day. I also like this for Finn Balor, because for me, I don't see him as the type of guy that's just a lackey in whatever group he's part of. He's more of a shot caller type as well. In fact, he's the actual leader of the real original Bullet Club in New Japan. He started Bullet Club, so it was actually him. Yeah,
interesting
so
fact.
We'll see what happens with Finn Balor. But I think this is good for both Damian Priest and Finn Balor too. So we'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah, Judgment Day was a weird group. They were kind of serious sometimes. They were given championships, but then they were kind of really silly sometimes. And I don't know. I think it's time. It's definitely past time that they're done. Let's see how it progresses from here. But yeah, this had to be 2 thumbs up. These 2 big guys, they were giving it a good fucking amount of effort, and the way they were throwing themselves around too, and how Gunther has progressed from being like a big fat guy to a guy who's taking like these suplexes that look freaking amazing. I can't say anything bad about the match. So good job from them. We'll see how Damian Priest progresses. But look, we got to move on to this. Shows how good this show was. That we're already half an hour into our podcast and we still haven't got to CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, which was the thing we were pretty much probably most excited about. But Seth Rollins was tapped to be the special guest referee in this. So here he is. That's not his outfit, though, for the match. It wasn't that crazy. But anyways, here's Drew McIntyre. CM Punk comes out. And this was a match that was very much, again, I'm not going to go through it, scene for scene, but very much dominated by the fact that Seth Rollins was the referee. And he seemed like he didn't care. He was slow on the count. They kept getting in his face. Here's Drew getting in his face after I just showed a picture of CM Punk getting in his face. And let's jump to a part where Drew got a steel chair. And he walks up to Seth and he's like, let me end this. Come on, just let me do this. Let me just use this chair. You're the referee, right? So for a second, Seth was like, all right, fine, go ahead. And then he was going to do it, and Seth stops him and takes the chair. Like, at the last second, he's like, no, that's going too far. You got to do this on your own. And then the bracelet thing is going to come back into it because CM Punk got the Anaconda Vice on Drew McIntyre, but instead of finishing the hold, he tries to get his bracelet back from Drew McIntyre, the bracelet with his wife and dog's name, which really also took over this match. So CM Punk couldn't focus on holding on to the submission, and when he was going to put Drew McIntyre in the go-to-sleep, he saw that Seth Rollins had picked it up and put it on his wrist. Right, this is the story that they're going with here. So CM Punk stops his attack on Drew McIntyre and tells Seth, "Why are you wearing that?" And he gets in his face, and I think this is going to lead to Drew McIntyre attacking CM Punk from the back. But while Seth is out of the ring hurt, CM Punk grabs Drew, gives him the go to sleep, and he's going to give him the pin, but Seth Rollins again is too slow. And this is where finally CM Punk blows his top and he can't take it anymore, and he attacks Seth Rollins and gives him the go to sleep. And that's where Drew McIntyre, once CM Punk gets back to Drew McIntyre just kicks him in the nuts the way CM Punk did to him in Scotland, and fucking pushes him away and gives him the Claymore. And Seth Rollins is able to wake up in time for this one and finally puts this one away for Drew McIntyre. Finally, thank God, Drew McIntyre got one back, the poor guy. After all, he's been screwed by CM Punk. Here's him with a leg on Drew McIntyre's chest, holding his hand up to the sky with the bracelet on. Still has CM Punk's bracelet as the camera zooms in on that. All right. Who did I do last time first? I think I did Vlad first last time. So let's go with Robert this time. I'm going to put 2 minutes on the clock for you. What was your rating for this match? CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre.
This was easily 2 thumbs up for me. Now, something I just thought of as you were doing the review of this match. So way back in, I want to say 97, was it? And I think it was Survivor Series. The Montreal Screwjob happened, right? And then I think it was the Monday Night Raw after that where Vince McMahon did that infamous interview where he said Brett screwed Brett.
Correct.
In SummerSlam, CM Punk came out in Bret Hart inspired gear, and then the post-match, post-show interview, Drew McIntyre, if I remember correctly, Drew McIntyre said CM Punk screwed CM Punk. That's pretty interesting. Well, okay, the match, it wasn't very physical due to the gimmick of Seth Rollins being the special guest referee.
Yes,
I don't know if that was. I don't know if that was by design since CM Punk just barely came back from injury. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. So yes, the focus was more on the storytelling with Seth Rollins' involvement. Like, is he going to call it down the middle? Is there some shenanigans that are going to happen? So I would still love to see a rematch that is less gimmicky and more physical. If assuming CM Punk recovers, a bit more and is up to the task. But still, this was great. I do think they made CM Punk look like a goof for, getting distracted too easily and letting that,
for a bracelet.
Yeah, for a bracelet. But hey, all right, that's the story they went with. Sure, but pretty much, yeah, this was very enjoyable. I loved it. Definitely loved it enough to give it 2 thumbs up. But I'm still hoping for one more match between.
All right. Let's move on to Vlad. Vlad, let's hear your review of this angle today. The angle was a match, finally, with special guest referee Seth Rollins.
Yeah, no, I pretty much agree with a lot of what Robert said. I think the match itself was gimmicky and kind of hurt the potential of it being like a 5-star match or whatever you want, or at least a very good match. Mm-hmm. But the story and the angle that they told was still very, very good. This whole thing has been super strong for at least 6 months now. I also think that they will definitely have a rematch, maybe even multiple rematches, where they will still be able to get physical. So I think this is still, I'm not going to quote Paul Heyman a little bit. I think we're still in the early innings of this feud. I don't think it's over yet.
Yeah.
Personally, I think we got a long way to go. I think I don't know what inning we're in.
Well, yeah. Definitely, bro. I mean, Drew McIntyre's talked a lot of shit on the post show. So yes, this is going to continue.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, my only thing is with the Seth involvement, where does he go in this? Because if they're going to continue to feud with themselves, why was he involved in the first place, kind of thing. I don't know. I mean, I think Robert's explanation of maybe they weren't sure what Punk was physically capable of in this match, and not having this long, drawn-out physical type of match where they would be going, fighting in this, outside, and somebody going through like the announce table, or being like a physical fight because of like all the history that they've had already. I think it was a good point that Robert made. I think that might have been why Seth was put in there in the first place. But what does that mean for him going forward? Like, is he going to be involved with the feud? Are they going to make it a triple threat? I mean, I kind of don't want him involved in that because it's been so good without him. I'm okay with him being. I'll just finish my thought.
Yeah. Go ahead, Vlad, please.
Yeah, I think it's fine that he was involved as the referee in this match because you could say that he hates both guys. Okay, fine, but I don't want him involved in something that's been so red hot, and I think his presence might kind of hurt it. So they got to be a little bit careful with that, with what they do with Seth. That's it. That's all I got.
All right. Well, I guess I'm going to be the only one here out of the three of us to give it just a thumbs up instead of 2 thumbs up. Maybe there will be a match coming up where it will be really hot, and I'll give it 2 thumbs up if they have like a Hell in a Cell or something. But yeah, the whole Seth Rollins thing here, where he seemed like he didn't really care about being referee, taking his time, not even paying attention, them getting in his face. It wasn't really good and exciting to me. The angle at the end, once they finally figured out, once Drew McIntyre low blowed him and CM Punk gave the go to sleep to Seth Rollins, it was good. But I think the match could have been better overall. And yes, I think the Seth involvement hurt this. Maybe down the line they could have got Seth involved. I kind of wish for this one they just had a regular match. So I'm going to say this was a slight miss, but I'm just being a Malapert smark here. But I'm going to move on. Let me move on. I'm going to move on to, we want to quicken up the pace of the show a little bit, but I'm going to move on to 1 minute review. So I'm going to give you both 1 minute from now on for the rest of these. So I'm going to move on to Nia Jax and Bayley. So I'm going to do a quick review, not really, but here's Nia Jax, here's Bayley, and one of the big spots here was that Bayley picked up Nia Jax and gave her a power bomb, right? Everyone was like, holy shit. So that didn't end the match though, and then Tiffany came in to tease a cash in, and Bayley knocked her off the ropes, but that was gonna be you got this prediction exactly right, Vlad, that you thought Tiffany was gonna try to cash in, but Nia was still gonna win and become champion. So they're still friends, Tiffany and Nia Jax. I think they played it off in the post show that Tiffany was supposed to be the distraction.
That's what they said, yes.
This was kind of like a plan they made together. But it's still awkward because Tiffany's got this money in the bank thing. And
she's the champion.
And she's the champion. So they're supposed to fucking cash in on each other.
And they're supposed to be friends. How is that going to work?
Yes. All right. Well, Vlad, since you're already on the subject, why don't I give you a minute on the clock if you got any thoughts about this match. What was your rating on this, by the way?
I said I was, I guess, indifferent or no rating or 0, I guess.
Okay, all right.
Not because I dislike the match so much, but I haven't really been feeling Bayley's run as champion too much. It has nothing to do with her specifically, just what the material they're giving her. She's a great wrestler, a great worker, has been in plenty of great matches in the past. This was okay. The match itself was okay. It wasn't anything to write home about, but probably the best you could hope for with a match with Nia Jax. And I also give a little bit of credit to Nia. I'm always kind of hard on her, telling that her matches suck. She's going to do something reckless. She's going to hurt somebody. She's going to hurt herself or somebody else. She did some things here that were pretty solid. I didn't really closely look at her bonsai drop this time, if she landed it correctly or did she break some ribs or not, or almost break some ribs. But other than that, I will say that she looked pretty mobile out there, and she looked solid. And we'll see what happens with her reign. Obviously, I'm not really fond of her character either, but we'll just see what happens.
All right, Robert. Vlad was indifferent about this. No thumbs up, no thumbs down. What about you?
I gave this 1.
Thumbs up from Robert. All right.
Yeah. So I did wish that this match was more competitive, just because I feel like Bayley deserved a little better. Her title run has been.
She gave her that power bomb. She seemed like she had a lot of heart in that moment where she looked down and out. She gave up.
But I think
It
they
was
could
also
have.
outmatched. Tiffany came in. She had to deal with that distraction while
All
she was
right,
trying to.
you're right. Well, yeah. Well, I wanted it for Bailey for this match to go on a little bit longer, but I guess it makes sense. A couple of months ago, after Bailey won Royal Rumble, Nia Jax did intimidate Bailey into not picking Rhea Ripley as the champion that she's going to challenge for WrestleMania. So I guess it does make sense that this wasn't really that competitive. And I gave it one thumbs up because Nia Jax really is the one who impressed me. She's definitely improved a lot since a few years ago when she looked really slow and clumsy. So yeah, so only one thumbs up. It's good enough for that.
All right. I also gave this a thumbs up. I thought the match was good. The only criticism I'll give since I watched SmackDown and I slogged through those fucking weekly shows is that Mi Chin was involved in this feud. Like, she was kind of an ally with Bailey. So with the Money in the Bank cash in here, I don't know why Mi Chin wasn't involved to kind of help out there. So that's one thing they could have used and got Mi Chin on the card. But anyways, I'm going to move on to LA Knight and Logan Paul. So here's LA Knight coming out. No, here's Logan. He came out with some rapper, some white guy.
MGK.
All right. Robert knows who he is. I don't fucking know. Here's LA Knight coming to the ring with Logan Paul's car. I guess it's an SUV or something with the prime energy drink on it, and he broke the window. When he returned it, but he broke the window, so he brought it back to the arena. He stole it the night before on SmackDown. Anyways, he comes to the arena. They have a match. I don't want to mention anything other than the ending when MGK, I guess this guy slipped him his brass knucks to Logan Paul, and it looked like he got a shot in on him, like he hit him on the head. The commentators even said he did. And then right when Logan Paul was going to flip into the ring, LA Knight caught him by the arm and gave him the blunt force trauma and smashed his face into the ground and ended up getting the win in the United States Championship. There he is, LA Knight, finally got made at SummerSlam. All right, who wants to comment on this? Who did I say first last time? Vlad?
I think I was first.
All right, Robert then. What's your review for this Logan Paul LA Knight
gave it
match?
one thumbs up. Well, just one thumb. It was a decent match. Logan has proved himself to be a natural talent, and he's picked up on professional wrestling pretty quickly. And I'm very, even though I think I predicted a Logan Paul victory because it was Cleveland. I did predict Logan would win this, but I am so happy I was wrong because LA Knight really needed this. Mm-hmm. He's been hot for with the crowd for how long now? More, I don't know, at least a year or so. So it was due. This was definitely due for him. So that's my main takeaway was this was a decent match and Logan finally got a belt. Other than that, yeah, not much else to say about this. That's my review.
All right. Well, Logan Paul did the job here, put him over. He played business. He did business with them. All right, so that's nice. All right, let me move on to Vlad. Vlad, you got 1 minute on the clock. Your rating here, I think, was just an Orange Cassidy half thumbs up or what?
Correct. Yes. I mean, it wasn't not that it was a bad thing or anything. I thought it was the match itself was just okay. I don't think it deserved 2 thumbs up or even a full 1 thumb up, type of situation. I thought it was solid. It was good. The right guy went over. They need to start pushing LA Knight. I think with LA Knight, the personality and the character is a lot stronger than the wrestling ability in the ring. So I think I don't know if they're going to have him work on that or not, or is he just kind of be what he is, which is fine.
So you think the in-ring work is the thing that's holding him back from being a top guy?
I think it's possible. Now, I don't know. There's plenty of guys that have still gotten over and been great, despite not being like tremendous in the ring, but still being a great personality. Ultimate Warrior kind of comes to mind as one of those guys, but not saying that he's the ultimate, as bad in the ring as Ultimate Warrior, but just saying that there are plenty of guys that can still get over based on the crowd reaction, the personality, the strength of the character more so than the wrestling aspect of things. And I think LA Knight is currently kind of in that situation. So we'll see what happens with him. I'm happy for him because I want him to succeed. He's one of the most popular wrestlers in the company. He gets one of the loudest pops every time he comes to the ring. The crowd usually eats up everything he says. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm kind of curious where his career trajectory is going to be going forward.
Well, look, Robert was saying how he was so hot like a year ago, like so hot. Maybe the hottest thing on a show that was kind of maybe struggling a little bit, but he never got pushed to that point where he was like champion. Although he was like for like a 3-4 week period, he was like as hot as anybody ever.
From what I've heard, they didn't put a belt on him because they weren't sure if he was going to stay with the company. That's what I heard.
All right. Well, look, one last question before we move on from LA Knight. And I asked you this last night, but does anyone see him having potential to be in Cody's spot? Can he be the top guy and, lead the company? Robert?
I don't think so.
No? It's just a gimmick. LA Knight is just a gimmick.
I say not at this time, not at this point in time. I mean, not to say...
What would have to change?
I don't really know because I don't know the inner workings of what's going on in the backstage or anything like that. I can only see what the shows that we're watching. I really think it could have something to do with the in-ring work is just not as strong as it needs to be. Not like I said, not that it's awful. It's not like awful. It's solid. It's passable. It's good enough.
I think it's the gimmick. Honestly, I think it's the gimmick. I think too many people say he's like sounds too much like The Rock. And that it's just like a novelty. It's not meant to be like that he's gonna actually ever be the top guy. I don't know. Yeah, we were asking, is this gonna be LA Knight's greatest moment, his peak, the United States Championship? Because he probably won't be world champion or
it might be
universal.
I think it's possible.
Undisputed champion.
I think it's possible because look at the champions currently. Like he's not over any of those guys. Like he's not over Gunther. He's not over Cody. He wouldn't be over. Roman, obviously, what he gets back
LA Knight versus Gunther, I could see that.
He's not even over Solo. Yeah. So all those guys are much more worthy as champions.
I guess it remains to be seen whether he'll ever reach that height again that he was like for that 3-4 week stretch where he was like the man.
Well, the problem is what happened is when he was the man for those 3-4 weeks is before Punk came back, before The Rock came back for the WrestleMania push. He was legitimately getting massive pops.
Because even Roman wouldn't be there every day, so he was literally the biggest star on SmackDown for a few weeks, and everyone loved him.
But then when those guys came back, to like really huge stars, maybe that hurt him a little bit too, as well. So gotta throw that out there as well.
Well, we'll see. I think it also depends on timing, angles, and how the fans react to him.
Hopefully, everyone else gets hurt.
If the fans start cheering for him as loudly as they did around this time last year, then management might change their mind and put one of the major titles on it. We'll see.
All right. Let me move on from that. I got to move on to Bron Breakker and Sami. So, real quickly, I'll just say that this is a rematch. Bron Breakker lost last month at the PLE at Money in the Bank. So, but hard-fought match, but Bron Breakker did end up getting the spear and pinning him and winning the Intercontinental title. So 2 title changes. Actually, there was 3 title changes in a row, I think. 3 matches in a row where the titles change hands. So lots of title changes on this night. And WWE Tag Team title also the night before. All right, let me put the clock back on the screen. How about Robert? You got any thoughts for Bron Breakker here and Sami Zayn?
You said this was a hard-fought match? I don't know. This was close to, well, I wouldn't say squash, but this was a very short match, and it didn't seem very competitive to me. But yeah, I mean, the right guy did win. Bron Breakker needed this victory, but I think he should have won their first match, if I'm being completely honest. But hey, at least he won now, and he has the belt. They they've been pushing him to look like an absolute monster, and now he has a title to show for it. So I don't know what's going to happen with Sami Zayn. I mean, I did make a prediction earlier in one of our earlier reviews. I might
that
sound
he's
a bit
gonna rejoin Roman's bloodline.
Yeah,
huh?
it might sound a bit far fetched, but I don't know. We'll see. Stranger things have happened. So, but yes,
I don't know where this is going either.
I don't know where there's gonna go. But I'm glad Braun got the victory. So I don't know if they're gonna have another match, but I doubt it.
All right, well worked match according to Robert. Thumbs up on his review. How about Vlad?
Yeah, with Robert's predictions, I think he's just feeling a little oozy. I think that's why he's predicting all these type of things. We're not sure what to make of it. The match itself was solid. I think
thumbs up from Vlad, by the way.
Yeah, thumbs up. Yeah, definitely thumbs up. It wasn't a squash, but it was short. Probably. Well, I don't want to look too deep into why it was short. I think they wanted Braun to look as dominant as he possibly can going forward in his reign as Intercontinental Champion. Me and Keon talked, and I think Robert was part of that review, and we discussed why he didn't win the first match they had when they were building him so strong. They could have at least given him an out where he didn't get pinned, and then he could come back at SummerSlam and win the match. That would have worked better than what they ended up doing, because if he was going to end up winning anyways, what was the point of him losing the first match? Clearly, they're trying to get Braun Breaker over here. He's the star of the future. Everybody says so. So, I'm happy with, for the most part, where his character is, where it's going. For Sami, I think, he's not really hurt by any of this, because he's that plucky underdog type that's going to keep, getting loud pops and putting on really good matches. So I'm not really worried about Sami's side of things. He's going to be fine. But Braun is the guy to watch and what they do with going forward.
All right, cool. Well, that'll complete our SummerSlam review. So we've done every match on SummerSlam. At least we've given an opinion about it. So this is the week in review for WWE and AEW. I'm almost at an hour, but I have a couple more angles, I guess, that we could complete a couple things and maybe mention AEW if you guys are down. What do you think? You guys got 10 more minutes in you or something?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. I'll run through it real quick, but let me jump to Raw from July 29th. So this was this past Monday. Nothing from here ended up on SummerSlam in this angle, but the Wyatt Six revealed themselves finally, 3 of them, and they turned out to be Joe Gacy from NXT, Eric Rowan, and Dexter Lumis. So the big reveal that these guys they were beating up Dynamite were getting beating up Chad Gable, and they looked like they were gonna no I'm sorry, hold on, what am I even saying? Sorry. Dynamite and Chad Gable were gonna beat up Otis and Maxine, and that's when these guys came out, and then they teased a 6-man tag. So that's the big reveal. Finally, there's gonna be a 6-man tag with these guys and the Wyatt Six. I'll start with Vlad on this. Vlad, you want to give your review of this segment, and how excited are you about seeing the Wyatt Six in action tomorrow night on Raw, or tonight, as the people are listening?
Well, right. I don't remember what I said, but I'm pretty sure I probably said it was indifferent. I can't remember. Looking at it, just thinking about what I would say about something like this, I would either give it like a negative thumbs down or like type of thing, or
Vlad doesn't remember his review that he wrote. But you gave this an indifferent. You gave it a 0. Yes.
Well, that's what I figured, because
okay, so you don't care about this.
I don't care. It's getting to the point of goofiness, and
it's very dramatic, and a lot of production put in for these 3 guys who really have. Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis. If you watch NXT, you see them a lot. Eric Rowan, he was in the Wyatt family, so. Okay, and then they're fighting against Chad Gable and Dynamite, who've been, massive heels. All right, so you don't care about this, and fine. Robert, do you have anything you want to say about this? I know you didn't really see Raw, but
I didn't watch Raw, but this segment did come up on my YouTube feed, so I did see this. I don't remember what I said about it, but I thought it was okay. It wasn't horrible.
All right, what is your level of excitement for Monday Night Raw then? To see the Wyatts in action, man. Come on, they're gonna bring out the smoke machine and the silhouettes and the lights.
I'm not about. I don't know about excitement, but I'll watch it.
No
just out of
excitement
curiosity.
whatsoever.
I'm saying I'm gonna watch it out of curiosity to see how they do.
God, I don't know. Fine. I'll just say it. I'll say this angle turned out to be a dud, man. A dud. These three guys. Come on, Joe Gacy. You guys watch NXT? I'm not excited to see Joe Gacy in action on Raw. Okay, fine, whatever. This is the last thing I want to mention from WWE.
What about Dexter Lumis? What about you?
Dexter Lumis was cool originally. I don't know what this is. I mean, I guess they're changing his character, but I like Dexter Lumis. I think they should bring back Index. You know,
Robert, I don't even know what that is. You know? Maybe Robert knows.
Indy Hartwell and Dexter Lumis were married. They were Index.
Oh, good God.
All right, fine. Let me move on. I got to mention something from AEW just to say that we mentioned them this week. We didn't completely gloss them over, but let me pull up Dynamite. So this is July 31st. He was trying to mess with Will Ospreay as they're feuding, right? And then Kyle Fletcher came out to defend Will Ospreay because they used to be in United Empire together. And so it's set up for Kyle Fletcher against MJF next week. And MJF was there. They were in South Carolina this week, so he was there doing his heel thing. You know, Vlad gave this segment. What did Vlad give this segment? Half a thumbs up.
Half a thumbs up, yeah.
And Robert gave it a thumbs up. So Robert was happy to see MJF being a heel. All right, Robert, I know this is a surprise. I didn't really warn you that we were going to talk about this, but I'm going to give you a minute on the clock. Anyways, so you have anything to say about this Kyle Fletcher getting involved in this angle?
I mean, it makes sense. They've been, they've mentioned in previous episodes that they're best friends, so it makes sense that he would, run into it to help Will Ospreay. One criticism I would say here is Kyle Fletcher's promo was kind of cringe and a little too long. I just wish he made it a little bit more brief. Then this would have been a little bit better for me. But it wasn't too bad.
All right. How about you, Vlad? Vlad, half a thumbs up. You kind of like this, I guess, as you say in your review on our YouTube posts. You got anything you want to say here and you want to add to it?
Yeah, I think actually having Kyle Fletcher involved is the reason that it's not like not an Orange Cassidy thumbs up, but
you're giving it barely a thumbs up.
Not
a good thumbs up.
I'm not a particularly fan of Fletcher.
Do you see a swerve coming? Is Fletcher gonna lay out MJF with the help of the Don Callis family?
I mean,
not MJF, Will Ospreay. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I kind of knew. I figured that's what you meant. Yeah, you think that would make sense given that he just left the group like that and then just didn't do shit about it. They're like, I'm leaving your group. All right, and he was like, all right, good job, my boy. Carry on. You would think that there'd be some sort of punishment for that, or some sort of get back for that, and. I guess you're onto something. It's a potential. This could be something. I just don't like their involvement in it. Don Callis has been a complete enigma in everything that he's been involved with. Just don't like anything that he's been going with. And Fletcher just, when I look at Fletcher, I'm sorry, I just see like an indie talent, a guy that I just don't think would ever amount to much of anything except on the indies or on this godforsaken show that's given 2 hours nationally every week for reasons I've yet to understand.
It's more than 2 hours. They get 5 hours, man. Collision is the one I'm hanging with Dynamite. Collision is the one that really bothers me, man. I can't hang with Collision. I can't even forward through it. Like it takes me 30 minutes to forward through a 2-hour show. You got to give me something. I can't just waste 30 minutes of my life. But anyways, moving along from this, I'm with you, Vlad. Half a thumbs up here. I'm not too excited to see Don Callis family involvement in this storyline. Don Callis family could be a good idea, but not the way it's been presented. It's not something that anyone cares about, and it's getting interjected into these main event angles. It was in the main event of the last pay-per-view with Swerve and Will Ospreay too, but it's not really getting it's not getting pronounced. We're not really seeing him that much in any kind of good way. All right, last angle of the night, last one. All right, I'll let you guys go after this. It's Swerve and Danielson. So they finally had a face-off. Danielson came out to, hype himself up after Jeff Jarrett gave him a emotional, motivational speech last week. So these guys talked to each other for a little bit, but the main thing that came out of it was Danielson said that if he doesn't win, he's putting his career on the line. So this will be his last wrestling match if he loses at All In. And this is his world title shot. He's never been AEW champion. So, Robert, you gave this angle a thumbs up for this meeting between Danielson and Swerve Strickland. You want to give any comments here?
It was fine. I mean, I think.
Do you really think this is going to be Danielson's last match?
Well, I actually, and I'm a really big Bryan Danielson fan, by the way. But I hope this is because
really?
Yeah, man. Like, look, as much as I like him, like I don't want him to put himself through hell if he's having all these health issues. Like, for what? We've seen he's given us a lot already. Like I'm fine with him leaving wrestling after this. I'm perfectly fine with it. He's still gonna be after he retires, he's still gonna be one of my all-time favorites. So if he retires, I'm okay with the body of work that he's provided.
I get that. He's been great. But I'm just saying that they've advertised this as the last year he's going to be a full-time wrestler. Not that the last year he's going to wrestle. So that's why this is hinting at me that he might win this and win the title and get his AEW moment. What do you think, Vlad? Am I out of line here or what?
No, I mean, if you're not out of line, it's a possibility, but you would think that would mean that they've completely given up on Swerve as somebody that could carry the title or be one of the main.
How much do you want to give Swerve? Swerve has been given enough. Now you want to give him a win to retire Bryan Danielson. Is it really going to hurt him that much if he doesn't retire Bryan Danielson? I mean...
Yeah, but I'm
not with Robert. I don't want to see Danielson gone completely. I kind of feel like he would be useful to be around. Okay, he doesn't have to be on weekly shows, but he could still have a big match here and there. So I don't really want him to retire. Like, this is weird too. And if he says this is my last match, period, does that mean he can't even go to WWE and have a match, or are they going to forget about that? I guess I don't know.
Nobody knows that. But I will say the one thing I'll say about the Danielson part of it is I personally think he's been wasted, significantly in AEW personally. I mean, he has been involved in nothing of relevance. He came in really, really great. And when he turned heel, it was really, really good for like the first 3 months. And then they put him in that stupid group with Moxley and Cesaro, and it all fell apart after that.
Yeah, but he was great at first, so good.
Great at first, but then it fell apart. So I will say that I don't think he should win. I think they should continue to push Swerve, push the young talent. And Danielson could go be a road agent or a creative guy in the back if he needs to be. I don't think it's necessary for him to. It's not like he's adding something to the shows exactly with his presence. I'm sorry, he's not. I don't think anything. I'm not sure if anything can salvage AEW though. That's what I'm saying. So I don't think it matters if he's there or if he's not there. It would matter if he wants to go to wrestle in WWE, though, of course. That's up to him. That will be his decision. I have a feeling he will not. I have a feeling that he will stay in AEW, but more probably like backstage role and stuff like that. So I think Swerve should go over, though. That I do believe very strongly.
Nixie voice privacy contents have been updated.
All right. Nice. What was that? Was that from you, Robert?
Yeah, my phone.
Oh, okay. I thought Caleb was playing a video.
No, I thought you had a girl over and you were hiding.
No. It was my phone.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us on the show today. Thank you for joining us for SummerSlam last night. I had a good time. It was a good show, I think. Very, very cool. I guess you guys want to give a overall review of the show. You guys, last thing before we go.
Yeah, sure. I'll go through. What is it out of like? Are we giving grades or how do
Like,
we go?
However you
like,
want to do
like
it,
the letter.
yeah. You want
Letter?
to give a letter grade, you want to give it a 2 thumbs up, whatever you want to do.
Yeah,
Or a
yeah, yeah.
5-star rating. We all know what
I
it, you
will.
know.
Yeah, I got it. I will give it a B plus. I can't give it a full like A. There was some stuff that that could have been better. I felt, but overall I thought it was a strong show. Now some fans might say that like the wrestling wasn't really heavy. It was very angle driven. Well, you know what? Angles are the biggest part to me of wrestling. You got to have an angle, or the matches don't mean shit down the line. So I'm fine with how it all transpired. So B plus for me.
All right. Robert, I guess let's get your thoughts before we go home.
Yeah, I'll give it a B plus also.
All right.
The
Not
angles
bad.
were good. I wish I think the Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan match could have been better. And then there was some awkwardness like right before the Roman Reigns return in the final match. But overall, it was a really good card and a good show.
All right, cool. I'm with you guys. I'll probably go B, which is still a good grade overall in wrestling history. I'll give it a solid B. But all right then, that'll do it for this week. I guess until we see you guys next time. Thank you for joining us. If anybody listened all the way till the end, I seriously would give you a reward. Thank you so much. It means a lot to us. It helps our channel. It helps put
Am
the.
I sending money to people again?
No, you're not sending
10
money to people. But
cents.
I'm just appreciating that people view our show because that's what puts us into more people's faces and gives them a chance to, choose to watch us. If people are watching us for, more minutes, the minutes watched is very important. It's actually more important than subscribes and likes, if you guys didn't know that. But yeah, anyone who watches this, thank you so much. I hope we were entertaining to you guys and filled up your time somehow. And please subscribe, and please find us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify also, and listen to us on your way home or on your way to work, or on your way home from work, or at work if you can, or while you're doing your homework or whatever. Listen to us anytime. The Malapert Smart
Anytime.
Podcast. Thank you so much. All right, for Vlad the wrestling expert, for Robert the frozen Asian, I'm the Malapert Smart. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much.